Today's meeting, like so many that I've had, are humbling. The voices of concern, consternation, anxiety are real, they're raw. And I recognize foundationally and fundamentally that so often people in my position are inadequate to the moment. So often we try to meet the moment with rhetoric. We feign resolve. We make a point to assert a new paradigm. And yet over and over and over and over again, we hear the names of those whose lives have been lost, have been taken, justice that was never advanced, and communities continuing to feel that they're not only being torn asunder, but not being listened to. And I fear, as I know many Americans fear, that we could be back in that moment. Every moment when you're in it feels like it's a different moment. Every moment when we're in it, we feel like, well, this time we're going to do things fundamentally differently. Yet over and over and over and over again, we don't meet that next moment. Over and over and over again, we fail to rationalize the goodwill, and we fail to materialize and manifest the ideals that we so often assert. And so I come here today, a place of worship, humbled by that past, humbled by the fact that I've been part of that past as a former county supervisor, as a former mayor, as a former lieutenant governor, as a governor of the nation's largest state. The question I have to ask myself, the question we have to ask ourselves, are we capable of not just meeting this moment, but capable of doing justice to the moments in front of us? I could put together a group of advisors. I could put together a task force. I could promise and promote a few pieces of legislation. But I said this on Friday, I'll say it again, program passing is not problem solving. You got to change hearts, minds, you got to change culture, not just laws. And we have to own up to some very difficult things. The black community is not responsible for what's happening in this country right now. We are. We are. Our institutions are responsible. We are accountable to this moment. Let's just call that out. We have a unique responsibility to the black community in this country, and we've been playing lip service about that for generations. Generations. Just things move away in headlines, and we indulge on the margins, but we don't systemically, foundationally address the root of these issues. We prune. We don't tear out the institutional racism from all of our institutions, large and small. We don't. We know that. And the community knows that. You're seeing that manifested out in the streets the last 5 days. They know that. The question is, do we deeply understand that? Do we, or are we prepared to do something differently about it? Each and every one of us watching, what are we going to do differently, foundationally, fundamentally, not in the short run, but in the long run, to do justice to this moment? People have lost patience because they haven't seen progress. So if you're out there saying, well, people need to be patient, consider. People have lost patience for a reason. They've been told that over and over and over and over again. Not just the 52 years I've been around. My parents, my grandparents, their parents' generation heard the same. Just be patient.